Hello, all. So, got another story. Let's check it out. Ooh, that head. Divorce lawyer reveals the rising theme he's seeing in couples right now. Oh boy. I don't even think him having hair was an improvement. Just, I mean, look how it spreads at the sides when they go back. Anyways, a family lawyer has told Newsweek the biggest theme he's seeing in divorcing couples and why he wants more people to know about it. Dennis Ventrano of the law office of Dennis and Ventrano, R. Ventrano Jr. Okay, so he's the only lawyer named. So Dennis Vetrano of the law office of Dennis R. Vetrano Jr. LLC in New York has been practicing family law for decades, from child neglect cases to child custody and divorce. Working in varying parts of family law, Vetrano sees many couples at the end of their marriage, and he has noticed a common theme. Women are doing it all, he told Newsweek. She's got a full-time job, she's a CEO, plus she's a mom, she's making six figures plus and still dealing with daycare and laundry and preparing meals. Right away, it's bullshit. He's a liar. How many women are CEOs? I get he works in New York, high-powered jobs, six-figure makes sense. A lot of women are making six figures in New York. Not a lot of women are CEOs. And plus, being a CEO, he just said it, full-time job. Where do you get time to do daycare and laundry and preparing meals? How do you have time to do any of those things? You're barely at home to even see your kids. How are you making six figures if you're not doing the hours? Dealing with daycare? I mean, paying daycare? Picking up the kids from daycare? Laundry? There are machines for that. Toss your clothes in the machine, especially if you're making six figures. Get a laundry machine right in your home. Toss the clothes in. Turn the machine off. Walk away. Preparing meals? She works a full-time job. How many meals she preparing a day? Breakfast? She getting up. She got to go to work. She makes herself breakfast. She make breakfast for what? 2, 3 other people? She goes, or she can order something. Or she can just go to work and her husband does it. Make dinner. She's already home. She's about to eat. How much extra time does it take to make her food and someone else's? Same cooking time. What? They're doing it all. So he does child custody and divorce, which means if they're making six figures, they're CEOs and they're making all this money, why are they divorcing? Or are the men divorcing them? She's making six figures. She's doing the laundry. She's taking care of daycare. She's cooking the meals. I don't think the men are divorcing that. She's doing all that. She's making six figures. And she's going to what? On top of that, she's going to divorce her husband, take away someone else that can help her, and then take away some of her money because she's making six figures. And now she has to divide her assets. Why would she want to make her life more difficult? Doesn't make sense. All of this sounds like a lie. Maybe he's seen one or two cases, which is more than zero. So it must be a trend, according to him. Then you have the husband. He's working a get-by sort of job. Female CEO, marrying a guy who's barely trying. She's making six figures. He's just got to make enough to not be a burden. Why would a man that's making six figures marry a woman that's also making six figures? They both don't have time for each other. So if she's getting married, she's a CEO, she's making six figures, she's going to need a dude that has extra time on his hands. And if he has all this extra time, why isn't he not cooking? Why is he not doing laundry? Why is he not picking up the kids? What the fuck is he doing with his time? This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. This is not how people operate. Why would she marry a man that would do that in the first place? And if he's doing that, why is he doing that? Why is he not helping if he has all this extra time? And not really wanting for more. But despite this, those stereotypical domestic activities that the women historically did, women are still left with those. Why? Why in this specific situation, which is not traditional, why would she still have to do stereotypical jobs? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. These can't be real people. That is so asinine for anyone to operate like that. The divorce rates in the US reached a peak between the 1980s and 1990s and have been in gradual decline since. Annual divorce rates is currently around 2.5 per thousand population. According to the latest available data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Stereotypes have hugely shifted. Women are out there working full-time. Mate, you're talking about in major cities like you are in New York City. That's a major city. Women are making a lot of money. Most people who live in those cities, they have to make a lot of money in order to just get by. So yes, you're going to find a lot of high-powered careers where women are making a lot of money because a lot of office jobs, and a lot of women go for office jobs. More women are going into college, and office jobs require college degrees. So facto, women are making a lot of money. But the responsibility for domestic responsibilities that used to be left with women, they're still not even 50-50. Women are doing it all. So it seems like he's dealing with child custody and divorce, which means most of the times when he's dealing with these women, it's either one or the other. And I'm thinking it's mostly child custody, which means that the women are doing all of this because those people are separated. They're no longer married. Otherwise, the divorce part would have been first. It said right at the top, he's dealing with child custody cases. Has been practicing family law. Family law. So he's mostly dealing with child custody cases, which means those people are separated. So obviously, she's doing it all because she's a single parent at that point. When it comes to when the kids are at her, she's doing all of the work. When the kids are with him, he's doing all of it. Okay, what did I lose my place? Okay. They're doing it all. Yeah. A paper by Sorya That and Martyr Randon Publishing. I messed up those people's names. I apologize. Explored the burden of unpaid work on women. Unpaid work? If these women were actually paid for the jobs that they're doing, they wouldn't even be able to get minimum wage. How much would you pay someone to cook for themselves in your own home and just make a meal for you? How much would you pay someone to clean their own house that you also live in? How much would you pay someone to clean up after themselves and a couple other people, mainly their own husband and their kids? How much would you pay someone to take care of their own responsibilities? It's not unpaid work. I cook my own meal all the time, clean up after myself all the time. I wouldn't pay myself for that job. The amount that people think women should be paid for those jobs, women that actually have those jobs have to clean several houses before they even make minimum wage. They have to make several meals before they even make minimum wage. Unpaid work is bullshit. Because people wouldn't even pay them to do those jobs. What are their training? What are their qualifications for even doing that? They're doing it because it has to be done. It's chores. It's not unpaid work. It's not a job. It's a chore. Just insane, man. All right. Anyways, this unpaid labor includes cooking, cleaning, laundry, grocery shopping, childcare, and taking care of elderly or sick family members. Yeah, their responsibilities. Who's paying you to take care of your family members? You? Unless it's a stranger, no one's getting paid. Who's paying you to cook for yourself and your kids? Who's paying you to clean up after yourself and your kids? Who's paying you to do your laundry and your kids? You're the one that needs those things done. So the only person that would be paying would be you. You think your husband should be paying you for that? You're making six figures. You're a CEO. Grocery shopping, buying your groceries so you can cook for yourself and your kids? Who's going to pay you to do that? Childcare. Someone should pay you to take care of your own kids? Someone should pay you to take care of your elderly or sick family members. That is not unpaid work. But it is the burden of these tasks that is causing more marital issues, said Vetrano. How would the burden go away with a divorce? Do you no longer have to take care of your sick family members? Do you no longer have to go grocery shopping or take care of your children or clean or cook? The answer is no. You're not making your lives easier. We know that percentage-wise, women file for divorce more than men. Obviously, yep. He said, I think it's just a matter of when you reach your breaking point. For many people, the final straw is something relatively innocuous, but everything has built up over time. The problem is the divorce does not make their lives better. Even they say they have these problems, and it is built up over time. How is the divorce the solution that they seek? When he's working on cases, Vetrano shares insights into the world of family law on TikTok under the handle D Dr. V Law. I don't know. With videos gaining millions of views, people want to hear what he has to say. I want people to know, damn, his head is. It's even more. It looks like a nutsack. It's disgusting with the veins and everything. I want people to know what I'm seeing so they can fix it before it gets there. Why would you want that? Then you're out of a job, he said. People will say I'm just trying to get clients, but it is because I don't want it to get to that point. We will always have so many clients, and I'd much rather do mediation than a divorce. Okay. What is the best way to keep a marriage healthy? Vetrano believes it is all about choosing well. I wonder if he's married. Oh, it looks like he has a ring on his hand. Let's see if your wife divorced you. Let's see how your advice works. I think that it's especially true for women, said Vetrano. Believes that it's all about choosing well. Okay. How do you choose well, man? People change given enough time. People change. Their situations change. Their needs, they wanted no longer the same. I mean, most people get into marriages because it's a better deal for them. It's not about the love or the potential relationship. It's about the benefits of said relationship. Being together with that person benefits your life. But eventually, there's going to come a time where being with that person, when you're both struggling, when you're both having to deal with difficulty, under the stress, it doesn't feel like being with that person benefits your life. And most of the time, is the women that file for divorce in stressful situations because their emotions are just heightened. And getting a divorce doesn't usually hurt them as much. When it comes in a situation where they're making more money, though, than the man, the divorce is definitely going to hurt them more. But usually in those situations, the men don't try to take a lot of money from the women. They just leave with whatever they came in with. Usually. Some guys get vindictive and they try to take some money, but usually the guys don't try to do women badly like the women would do to men. I think that it's especially true for women. So many indicators give women a timetable to find a husband. Yeah, of course they have a timetable. It's usually a biological clock to find a husband, get married, have kids, but it is important to pump the brakes and take time to choose well. Believe in yourself and know you are valuable. I guess, but not valuable enough to be married to. Like you got to be an asset to people. And fortunately, a wife and kids are more of a burden than an asset. It is. It's an asset in the fact that you want wife and kids, but it's a burden in the fact that it costs you. That you deserve the holy grail of spouses. If you're on the right page from there, it's a good starting point. Bro, you didn't say anything. You just like, oh, just make a good choice. Believe in yourself. What? After choosing well, it is all about, how do we get to choosing well? You just believe that you're the shit and then you deserve more than anybody else has ever gotten. No one else has had the holy grail of spouses, but you deserve it because you believe that you're valuable. And that's your starting point. And all of a sudden you chose well. It's not advice. You just after choosing well, it's all about introspection. I think it's good for human beings to go through a constant level of self-evaluation. Agreed, said Vetrano. Thinking how good of a friend I am, how good of a dad I am, how good of a boss I am. When that's not happening, that's when things start to fall apart. Are women known to be introspective? Are they known to take responsibility for their failures? I mean, even in this, he's making excuses for the ladies. If he's making excuses for them, why would they not make excuses for themselves? Why would they feel the need to be introspective and take accountability for their shortcomings? But anyways, at the end of the day, the problem is that marriage, it doesn't serve people as much as it used to because people live too long. To be honest with you, we live way longer than we used to. And within that time, the things that you think are going to satisfy you might satisfy you, but it's not going to last. What you need is, if you really want to get married, what you need to do is stick with it. Find someone that you can work with, even when you two are not getting along. You know, even when you two are not really getting along and you really don't want to be there. Find a way to make the situation a net positive rather than a negative. Even if you decide that you're no longer going to, be like a couple and whatever, because you no longer have feelings for each other, then you can set up a situation where you two being married no longer hurts each other. You could have a plan where you two can set yourself up for the future, where you can say, we're going to separate and we're going to do it in a way where we both benefit and we both can thrive without hurting each other. But in most situations, divorce aids women, and they can just pull the plug because at the end of the day, financially, they're going to be better off. Financially, pulling the plug right away doesn't hurt them. So they have impulse, it's a perfect impulse decision situation for them, because then it's not going to cost them as much. They're not losing assets as much. But if they were to lose assets in those situations, they want prenups before the marriage happens. If they're making six figures, they want a prenup right away before that marriage happens. And when it comes to the divorce, they hesitate a lot more. They want to work things up, because if they don't have the prenup in place, it might cost them something. And especially even when they make it the most money, they're usually the ones that pull the plug first. So they have plenty of time to plan it out before the other person even knows they're about to get hit with a divorce. But then man, there's no real solution to this thing. Life is about conflict. And no matter how many wise people you have in the world that are going to make the right decisions, most people aren't going to do that. Most people, they react in situations, they act emotionally, and most divorces are going to be shitty and it's going to suck for most people. So I can't say, I can't say that what he's saying isn't true in some cases, but in most cases, it's not true. In most cases, these women aren't having high-powered jobs and they aren't working themselves to the bone, and the men are no help. I mean, all these articles about divorce, it constantly try to make a defense for the women. No matter who it is, they always try to make a defense for the women, and it just doesn't ring true. It always saying these women are suffering and they're taking all these burdens on and all these things, and it's just like it doesn't ring true because most of the time they're the ones filing for divorce. If they're the ones heavily burdened, if they're the ones that are getting hurt by this, first of all, they wouldn't be getting married. And secondly, they wouldn't be filing for divorce as much because it doesn't improve their situation. But they're filing for divorce as much because there's a benefit to it. There's a benefit for having the security of marriage, and there's a benefit for ending that marriage when it no longer benefits you, when you no longer need that security as much, where you no longer have feelings for that person and it doesn't hurt you financially to leave them and find someone else. Anyways, it's a difficult situation. I can't say it's all the women. I can't say it's the men, but I can say it's mostly the women. And I can say it's sometimes the men. So marriage hurts everyone at the end of the day, most of the kids. There's no easy solution to this. Until next time.